Alright, we are live right now, everyone. What is up out there? My name is Holden Stephan Roy. This is Bridge the Gap, and with me today is none other than KD2Times, who, to give a big shout out, he came through before this channel was really doing anything in the eyes of other people. He came through back when we was all in the room and it wasn't live on the internet and nobody, so shout out KD2Times for being, as far as the interview goes, that's as close to a day one you can get in this world. So shout that out for real.
Respect, dog. You know, we've been there through the trenches, dog, until now. So you doing your thing, you also gotta respect it.
So it's like dope to have you back, because last time it was more of a group thing, and then now you here and also star of a documentary level here. I just saw that. I'm just gonna throw it out there. So it's cool to have some Montreal royalty up in here. I mean, I say that like maybe a little whatever, but for real, how many people actually are the face of a documentary on some fucking crazy run of shit? And like, that's actually wild, and people should know about that.
Nah, for sure, man. You know, like it was a great idea from JS. Yo, shout out JS. And like, yo, he brought like basically our reality or his reality onto film. So, you know, and then that was cool, you know, to be like a big part of it and all that, and for the other people to see it. So, yo, shout out to him, and like the end result was amazing. So I have no complaints.
All right, so to get into it proper, you were born and raised in Montreal?
Yes, sir.
Which part of Montreal are you from?
Luke.
Straight up. It's dope, because
In the Luke, baby.
Apparently back in the days we was actually in the same parts of towns and stuff, so that's wildly fun for me. But no, it's really,
no, for sure.
It's relevant
for
to
sure.
like this
Sorry,
first
go ahead.
opening question that I ask everybody. It's like the proper opening question now. And it's a bit of a story. So when it lands, then you answer it, and it's gonna go this way. It starts out with my girlfriend, and she's washing the dishes one time, and she's got her phone out, and she's playing that Black Eyed Peas song. I got a feeling, ooh.
Okay.
And she's vibing.
Big tune.
She's dancing, and I'm looking at her, and I'll go, hold up, when the fuck did this become chores music, right? Because like, she's sitting there doing chores to this, and if you think about the song now, we put it on, maybe we're doing some exercise, maybe we're cleaning, we're doing some, I'm gotta be productive, whatever it may be. And that's super wild for me to think about, because if we run that shit back 10 years ago, or in any kind of lit party environment, that shit comes on and it's the biggest turn up song ever. 10 years or so goes by, the song doesn't change. It's a song, it's still being the song that it is, but we change so much that it's like that throwback to a better time song for so many of us. And I started thinking about that, right? And I started thinking about the little ones. They doing their thing. They up in the club. They have no idea that they're going to grow up and do dishes to this shit. They also have no idea that we heard their shit and we do dishes to what they're turning up to right now, because that's just what happens to us in life. We get older, we turn up to, the chores and shit.
That's it, exactly, you know?
So with that, it got me thinking about musics and evolutions and the way things kind of change over time. And when we think about ourselves as artists and the way that things run through our stories, so often it kind of starts at this adolescent phase. Like, yo, I found rap music when I was 12 and I discovered this artist and I started writing at this point, and et cetera, et cetera. But really, like, the start of the story is kind of way earlier than that, as far as your music goes and the influences and the different things that hit you, right? So, like, you were probably coming up in the hospital and some doctor was playing some shit in the room, and you already started absorbing music from that point on. Like, yo, I can remember being like 5 years old, my guy, with the gray boxes and shit in the apartment, the amplifier, the tape deck, the radio with the fucking wires going out to all these different speakers and things. My dad be busting his fucking Led Zeppelin tapes and shit like that in the daytime. At nighttime, though, straight live from the clubs in Montreal, we got that MC Mario playing and things like that. You know, my mom, she's more musical and discos and love songs and all that kind of stuff. But basically, all this was happening around me. I spent way over a decade being forced to listen to what my parents was playing, whatever was on the radio, all this stuff, and it kind of, hugely impacted me throughout my journey. So I was hoping, KD2Times, you could run us back to being the youngest KD2Times that you could remember being, and walk us through a little bit about what it sounded like to be you growing up in all this.
Yo, that's a very impactful question. But it started back, like, I have to say, back when I was in elementary. Like that's when I started like yo, my older brother put me on, like he was big on music,
Yo,
like he
running
was big
even
on
like,
R&B.
what about
He
like
was
when you was younger? What was the kind of vibe of your parents and stuff?
oh, I would say like not too much. My mom would play a lot of music in the house, you know, like she'd do a lot of church to music in the house, especially on Sundays, you know, so it'd be a lot of like gospel music and all that. Like that was the vibe, you know what I mean? But like I didn't get to myself into music until like elementary, you know, like my brother put me on, like he was on more like a R&B tip, Michael Jackson, all those type of vibe, Prince. So like I was onto that, and after that's where I got like my heavy dose of music and started from there. You know, I had I had the tape deck from early on, and after went on to the CD, then made the evolution to like the MP3 player, made it onto the iPod. So like music's been like I've been like involved in music like pretty much my whole life. You know what I mean?
And like when you was like young with it, was it just like as a fan, or were you like already interested in getting more involved in like making it, or is it just more like
No,
your
it was
brother was
mostly
sending
it
it
was
your way?
mostly yeah, it was mostly like I was mostly a fan. Like the interest didn't come until like later on, like I made it to like CJ, bro, like about college. That's where like it really interested. But before that, like just strictly a fan and like, just really dissecting the music for what it is. But
And
like the really interest to be like, okay, yo, I'm gonna like maybe try this out, see if I could do it on my own is like, yeah, like it was like in college.
so what was like a passion? I mean, I know you was into the footballs and stuff, but like what
Yes,
other
sir.
kinds of stuff was you up to when you was younger than when you was young, high school days? Like what was the early activities of KD2 times?
Yo, man, like I was heavy in online gaming, man. Like I don't know if people know about it, but I was on like Major League Gaming, like a lot about like
Oh, yo, let's
Halo
run that
2.
back. How do you get into that?
Just like online, like it was basically me and my little brother. And after that, we ended up finding someone else online that ended up being from Montreal. Then like we became very good friends. Right now, he lives out in Atlanta. But like, we ended up making like a Halo team. Like just it was us three. And after like we picked up like a fourth person. So like I was like very like nerdish back like in like high school days. Like I'll just like game all day. It was basically like Halo 2, Rainbow Six Vegas. Like that's all I really did. I just played video games like throughout. That's all I did.
I mean, but you play competitively. Like that's
Yeah,
actually wild.
let's get it. Yeah, it's because instead of leave like online tournaments, we did like in-person tournaments as well. Like we had to like we drove down to Toronto and stuff like that. So like yeah, it was like pretty
Yo, how
serious. We
many
took it
people
serious.
be traveling to Toronto to fucking actually do anything, let alone a fucking pro video? That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like even like now, and even now, like I don't play. Like I have my my PlayStation there. Like I barely play it anymore. I just have like no time. But like that's still something like if I have like an hour or two to myself, like I'll still turn it on and like run a game of Madden or whatever the thing is. But I'm not deep as I was before, for
Fair
sure.
enough. I mean, that's what I mean. The one beautiful part about the adolescent years is you can actually put like real time into some shits. Now, I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's fascinating how you turn gaming into something like more than gaming. Like my gaming is I throw on a giant solo RPG game and get lost in the universe and then watch YouTube videos about it after. Your shit's like I'm squatting up, we taking over, we running it. That's so
Yeah,
nifty.
for
What's it
sure.
like to be part of a competitive gaming team? And I'm not asking that unironically. Like that's actually an interesting aspect of life. Not especially when because we're like the same age. So like back then, like that
Yeah.
wasn't the norm.
Yeah. It was just that I didn't want to see myself like as like wasting time and like if there's a potential like money to be made from it, like and if I'm playing, like why not try it out? Like, like if I find that I'm good and like our team is good, like why not just try it out? Like if I'm here putting in hours on the game, I might as well try and see if I can get some like dividends out of it. You know what I mean?
Did y'all end
So
up winning?
no, there was no we kind of got smashed in the tournament, but it's like it was a humbling experience. It's a learning experience. Like you may be playing online and you think, oh, you're good, but then you meet some real guys that could like they could work the sticks, and it's like, all right, you guys are pretty good. So like it was cool. It was a good experience. I can't say like I wouldn't uh I wouldn't go back on it for anything, but like it was fun. Like pretty much enjoyed it like that time. Like the little few years that I did it, like yeah, I was down with it. It was cool.
Yeah, it's wild. It's almost like any other dream, though. Like you get to the real leagues, and it's like, oh, it's like that, like that. Okay.
Yeah, not for sure, man. You run into some people that are like really nice at the game, like they could actually play. You know, just like if you play ball, hockey, any like sport, like there's guys out there that are highly like better than you, and it's just like, all right, you do this better than I do, and like, that's cool. So like, yeah, no doubt, man. I had a lot of fun doing it, and then eventually, like, it just died down. Like everyone got older, different paths and all that. So it was cool, but like for the time being, man, I was with it. I was 100% with it.
Honestly, that's really cool. I like the fact that you're like honestly a pioneer in the sense of like early era of online gaming. Because if it wasn't for cats like, and I'm not saying that hyperbolically, like if it wasn't for people
Yeah,
taking that initiative, showing up at the tournaments, doing those things back then, it wouldn't be the industry that it is today. And
100%, 100%. Like the esports is blowing up. Like now, like they're talking about doing it in the Olympics and all that. But like before, like MLG or Major League Gaming, like it was very small, word of mouth, and you really had to go like search out for it. So like to see how it's become now, it's just like if I had a hand in it, which or even if it's like a small percentage, then man, I'm cool with it.
did you ever go to New Gen and all that?
I was at New Gen, but I wasn't more so on like the computer games. Like I wasn't on Counter Strike or like StarCraft. I was more like a console gamer. But like
Right.
yeah, I was at New Gen and what's the other one that was by Snowden? Forgot the name.
Fuck, I forgot that existed till you just said it. I don't remember its name, but I know what you're talking about. For the
I
people out
forgot. I
there,
forgot.
these are like
I forgot the name. Yeah, I forgot the name. It
basically,
was across. It was across from the Metro, but I forgot the name. But yeah, there was one over there as well. I
and
was
then
there too. I forgot the name though.
like yeah, these are just like basically video game bars. I don't know how else to put it. Like you'd show up, pay your
Yeah,
$2.50 for an hour. You're renting a
yeah,
fucking
exactly.
computer slash whatever. You gamed, and they sold you junk food.
Yeah. New Gen was crusty, bro. That thing was like so contact and like people were there for hours just like eating chips and like gaming with like soda. Like it was bad, but like it smelled like it smelled like BO. People didn't shower, but that's what gaming was back then, bro. You know what I mean? Like people were just there dedicating their whole time to video games. So it is what it is, man.
Yeah, it's a wild concept, and then the internet appeared, and it's like, well, we don't need Nugent no more.
No, that's it. That's it. That's what happens, man. Like evolution. So and then Nugent is what it was. But that's still a staple of Montreal, man. People that are from Montreal, especially like DG. If you like grew up in our era, like yeah, Nugent is like a staple.
Absolutely. I never actually played. Well, I went one time. Actually, I lied. I went to Nugent one time, played Counter Strike one time, got destroyed, and said, "Fuck this." Never went
Yeah,
back to
yeah,
Nugent.
that's
I was
what I
like,
feel. Yeah, I hear you. So yeah, at least you tried it, bro. At least you tried.
I remember the one time I went. But so what happens when you get to Sejep? Like, how does that change up for you? And where do you go to Sejep?
Uh, I was at Vanier, went to Vanier, and then like I said, it was like a whole new like group of friends, like the guys that I went with and I was in high school with. They went to like different colleges, especially like they went to French. I ended up I was in a French high school, and then I went to English CEGEP. So all those guys went to like a French CEGEP, and I went to English, and then I had to like I made like some new friends over there, and after the whole like kind of dynamic changed, and like my entourage changed, I changed. I ended up like figuring out myself and all that stuff, like what I ended up really liking and stuff like that. So it was a good experience. Vanier was cool. Like I was between that and like Dawson. I really thought I was gonna end up at Dawson, but like Vanier had the football team, so that's like what kind of intrigued me. Even though I didn't end up playing on the football team, but that was like the most like I was like, okay, I'll just go over there. And I feel like if I was in Dawson, like downtown, I probably wouldn't have done well because like it's too hectic all there downtown. Like Vanier's all the way in the corner in like Saint Laurent, so like I could handle that. That's cool.
Yeah, all things considered, there's not that much lady around Vanier.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. You had the mall, which is like a bus ride away, but like other than that, like it's pretty much just a school and then like go home. So like I was good with that.
So so you said you got more into like music when you got to Vanier. How does that get
Yeah,
like triggered?
well, it got triggered. It was really like I ended up when I got to Vanier, I ended up working at the hospital. Ended up meeting up with JS. And JS and my boy Ali Fresh, like they were in the music, they were doing the music together. So like I became friends with them, like our parents are friends and all that. And then after that, I got invited to like one of the studio sessions. So like we just went out there, whatever, vibed out. I saw what they're doing. I'm like, oh, yo, man, this is kind of cool. I'm like I said previously, like I was always into the music, but I never like said, okay, yo, let me try to like write, to it. You know what I mean? But after they were doing a song And then after I just kind of like, I forgot how it went about, but I pretty said, yo, let me do the remix of this. Let me just get like the first like 4 bars or something. Like it was like 4 or 6 bars on the song. And they're like, ah, yo, whatever, do the thing. They sent me the instrumental. I wrote to it. Yo, we recorded it. And from there, like that's where it pretty much started.
Yeah, that's dope. And this is back when you're in the
Yeah.
Sage era, so it's like '06
Yeah,
ish, oh
exactly.
05, oh 06 line.
Yeah, about, but like, see, like back then I wasn't taking it like that serious. Like I was doing it, but I didn't take it serious till like a few years later, like very seriously. Like before, I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll just do this for fun, and it's like, oh, you need a verse, let's just do this, yada yada. But like until like years later, I'm like, okay, like yeah, let me like actually take this serious.
And like, at what point do you like this like the football stuff start to pick up for you?
You talking about flag
Well, just in general, because
or general?
you were like
Yeah,
gaming in
yeah,
high school, right? So at some point it
yeah. I
has
was
to
gaming
like
in high school.
transition to like football.
Yeah, well, I always been. It was always like football and basketball. I played basketball for see, I already forgot the name. Burgundy. I was in Burgundy for a couple of years. I did basketball there. And after I did football 1 year in LaSalle, and after I went to Vanier and I tried out for the school there, for the team there. But it was like too much politics for me, you know. So like I did the one tryout,
I
and I
have
was just
no
like, yeah, it's
idea
not
what
for me.
kind of politics exist in Sage at football tryouts, my guy. I have zero
Yeah, well,
idea.
you know, like you know, it's like a hierarchy. You know, you could be better than someone, but like if that person's been there for X amount of time, or if they have like connections with like a coach or something, you know, they'll get the higher up on you. So like I wasn't like kind of down to do all that. So I just did the one tryout, and after like I bounced out, and after that I ended up picking up flag. Like flag was more like my pace, recreational, perfect. I don't need to get hit, and then you know that was cool. And like I've been playing flag for about I started when I was like 20, 21. So like close to like 12 years now, bro. I've been playing flag football and continuing. So shout out to Flag Plus Football, can't lie.
That's fire. So I guess you go through the Sage app, you start dabbling in music, you learn about that you don't want to play that football, and I guess what happens after that for you?
So yo, you pretty much I graduate after like I was in stage up for about 4 years, and after we move on to university. Me and my boys, and then after I did university for about 2 years, but I found like that wasn't like my speed. You know, like
And what were you
I
studying,
didn't
by the
like
way?
I was in like a stoner program, bro. I was in like geography, urban planning. Like honestly, I don't know what I wanted to do. That was the problem. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I took the wrong program. So like I did that for 2 years, and I was just like, nah, this is not for me. And then after that, I took a year off, and after I ended up doing a 1 year like intensive at LaSalle College in media and advertising.
Say
So like
word.
ideally, what I should have done was go to CEGEP and take communication, but I didn't know about all that back then. I just like let me go to CEGEP, then university. Excuse me. I just go to university to say I'm going to university. It was like more like a Van Wilder thing. Like my 2 years there was like Van Wilder, like just party. My first year was good. I had like great grades. Second year, like everything was like crashing down. I'm just like, wow, kind of wasting my time and money here. So let me bounce out and let me like, recalibrate and see what I really want to do. So that's what I ended up doing. And after there, like, yo, the music picked up. Started making more music with JS, Dini, Ali Fresh, and more people around me that were making music. I would like reach out to them and like, features and all that, kind of putting myself out there. But yeah, that was pretty much it.
So when you're doing this part of it, right? So when you're getting into the music scene, like when does that like start to pick up? Like what year is that?
Right, yeah, man. Like, I mean, we started like hosting our own parties at Cabaret Underworld. I don't know what it's called now, but I don't know if you remember what Cabaret
Nah,
Underworld was.
dude, that's like a big ass venue.
Yeah, yeah, the venue, and they ended up changing the name and ownership. But anyways, like we were like throwing parties there like every couple of months, and like we'd throw the parties and we'd have like our own performances there. So we're doing that, and then after that, we ended up doing perform. We ended up opening for Bundy and like a few other rappers. So like that's where like it started picking up. And what year? Oof, that's a good question. I can't tell. I'm not good with the years, but it was like 20. yo, I had to be in like early 20s, so like maybe like 22, 23. That was like about it.
That's like
Like yeah, about like yeah, when I was yeah, when I
2012,
was about like
2011.
yeah, like when I was about like 22, 23, and like yo, the flag football was picking up. You know what I mean? Like
So yo,
we were there, we were
you're like
winning.
sitting there, guys, and you're all throwing parties. How do you like promote this shit? How are you guys actually like making this work so that you're able to come back
Twitter,
month
Twitter.
after month?
We
So,
were yeah, yo, we were heavy on Twitter back in the day, like during that like 2012, 2013, even 2014, like we were heavy on Twitter, man. Like our activity on Twitter was like big. Like whenever we'd post, like there was a lot of interactions, a lot of reactions. So like we were very heavy on Twitter. We had like some merch. Like before like this came up, like, this started like where it was basically no regard, not the same font. And after we had like the Twitter handle on the side. So like we were selling that as well. So like it was kind of big during that like those like between 2012 and 2014. So like we were doing that, and like the flag football helped a lot because we were winning, and
but it's
we had a lot of
oh
people
man, but
coming
it's
out to our
like
games and stuff like that.
so what I really liked about watching this is for JS that like documentary is like it's a case study in like how to actually collectively create this honestly culture that attracts people that may not even give a shit about you inherently. And
Hundred
that's the
percent.
wildest thing because there are so few of those that I believe I personally like witnessed, or I didn't witness this, but like, like talk to people involved in it that were like, yo, we did that, it was successful, and it's like, yo, it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think it's more so like genuine because when we started the flag thing, it was like we were really like a group of friends, and there were some people on the team like we didn't know, like Travis and Jordan. I didn't know them personally, knew their dad, but they ended up coming on the team, and like we ended up growing up with them. Like I saw them as like they were young kids when they came on the team, like about 16, 17. And after now they're like grown men and they're like late 20s, you know what I mean? So
That's actually a
it's very
cool nugget
genuine.
there. I
So
like
like
so you have
so
young
like
people
yeah, like
around. That's
yeah,
important.
young people around, and like I think people could relate that was genuine, that like a group of friends. It wasn't like we were a football team, or like I said, we were just a group of guys and said, let's just we'll do this, and we ended up doing it, so like people could relate, like wow, like look at these guys, just a bunch of like quote unquote nobodies, and they made something out of nothing. So it was fun. I can't lie. Like, and that's always gonna. And everyone on that team that ended up winning, like, I'm pretty sure they could like down the line, whether it's now, 10 years from now, when we're older, gray hair and all that, they'll go back and say like that was like a chapter in their own life because it was big. It was still big. Like for me, it's always gonna be big.
So basically, the formula is to win as a team, as underdogs, and that will help you get social media buzz.
I mean, a little bit, but it's also who we are as people. JS is nice on the social media. I do my thing. Dimi does his thing. Fresh does his thing. Like we all do our thing in our own respective ways. But like, yeah, I think that it's all intertwined together for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's because, like, I look at the current landscape of social media, and it's not a lot of, like, squads on social media. It's more a lot of
Mm-mm.
individuals on social media, and it doesn't carry the same weight or impact as, like when you see, like, y'all unified doing it, like a collective assault on these old people in this group that didn't want you there. I mean, I'm taking this from the movie, so this is JS's
Yeah, yeah,
storytelling
yeah, yeah,
interpreted by me 4 months ago or whatever. But it
yeah.
was
Man.
amazing to watch, and it was like I was like honestly in my head taking notes, like, yo, who's the villain? Who are we taking on? That was important too because there was almost like, not to call them villains, but in an archetype of a story.
No, villains, villains. Yeah, you're right. We were villains, 100%, and
No,
we
in
were the
my
villains that ended
opinion,
up finishing
y'all,
off
because
the
it
good guys.
depends on who you ask. You're the villains to one side, but you're the heroes to the other side. And so
Okay,
you
fair
create
enough.
this,
Yeah.
like, because when I hear the story, I'm not like, y'all are the fucking villains. I'm like, nah, because in my life, I empathize with the hashtag no regard crew a lot more than I empathize with the side that was maybe not into you. So
Hmm.
whoever hears the story is gonna picture it however they want to picture it. But the fact that there was that level of like almost polarization, giving people a side to root for, is amazing within itself.
For sure. Like, and that's how like most stories go. Like, you could interpret it however you want, and you end up picking your side. And like maybe some people at the beginning, they didn't like us, but they grew to love us, and that's what we kind of like. I'll take that for sure. Like if you end up growing to love us at the end, like that's a big check mark for us because we did it for ourselves at the end of the day. Really didn't care about no one else. Like us, don't like us. Don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have a sense of what you mean. I mean, I've talked to JS a little bit, so I have an idea of the no regard mentality and what it brings to
Yeah,
the
that's pretty
table.
much it. The name holds weight, man. The name holds weight.
I like it a lot. So you kind of go through that run. What are some of your biggest takeaways from that? Like just being part of all of that.
Oh man. The biggest thing I would say is kind of like I guess like being like the captain of the team. Like, like you could just like sign up, register the team, and that's cool, but like you're still like a group of friends and you still have to like kind of like make it work. Like you're not there to like I could pretty much talk for everyone on the team. Like we're not like we're a bunch of sore losers. Like we don't want to lose. So I'm not here. We're not we're not here to waste our time. So you know what I mean? There's like certain things that have to be done, and and certain moves where you gotta make. And like these are like still your friends. These are guys you can still see the next day. So like being the captain of the team was it helped me grow like, and it taught me a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of like that's a lot that I got from it. Like being the captain of the team, like amongst friends. Like there's a lot of things that like had to be made, and you're not doing it like as a friend. I'm doing it as like the captain of the as a team. You know what I mean? Like so, it's like
Yeah.
take it how you want.
I mean, I empathize with what you're saying. I deal with people in the world that I'm in, and when you're like the guy who's hosting an event, in a sense you're the captain of the event, and your
Yeah.
responsibilities aren't the same as maybe all the people's equal. But I think that's really nifty. So how do you navigate that? Like, okay, so you're in charge of your friends in a sense in the context of a football team. Maybe not in charge, but the leader,
Mhm.
the decider
Yeah.
of shit. So how do you like navigate that line and then wake up the next day and get drunk with them all and do all that shit? Because if it appears like
Uh,
that seems to be the talent of KD.
I mean, at the beginning, it wasn't. It was kind of easy, but it's after we kind of won the championship, and then after you got to start, like we're going higher in the division, so like there's certain talent that you kind of need to like kind of play. So like you gotta cut off some fat. So like that was tough, and that was kind of tough for me because like as I said, he's like my friend. So like I'm a person that always said like, listen, I will let you decide like your own fate in a way. Like I won't full out tell you like you're off the team, but I'll let you play it out. And if you're not meeting certain expectations, you could easily bow out. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't go out and be like, you're off the team. But between me and you, this is like where it's kind of like, okay, maybe I should just call it. And like some people saw it that way, some people didn't. But for the most part, I think it's just like, I think only one person from that era, like I don't talk to anymore. Like we're not cool anymore. But other than that, everyone like we're still like on a good level, unless it's something I don't know. You know what I mean? So.
That's dope though. That's like some real friend
Yeah,
shit.
no, it is very tough because I'm not doing this as your friend. Like I'm trying to better the team. You know what I mean? And like if that's what it is, that's what it is. And like it's a harsh reality. You know what I mean? Like because at the end of the day, who am I to tell you like you can't play? You know what I mean? But then that's why I also tell people like, yo, you'll figure it on your own. If you can't meet like a certain uh like a playing like if you can't meet like a certain uh like a certain play style or like you can't meet a certain level of play, like you should know like, all right, this is it for me. I'm gonna just call it quits and just call it a day, and we'll just move on from there. But I
That's
wouldn't personally ever tell someone like, yo, you're cut because who am I to tell that person? Like me, we're the same. We came in this together, so let's just go out the same way.
Yeah, that's actually really like wise in approach because you're
Yeah, like that's what I
avoiding
was tried. Yeah, I was tried.
culpability a
Yeah,
bit because it's
a
not
little bit.
like,
Yeah, 100%,
but you
hundred
let
percent.
people know like It's smart because then I mean people can run it, but they know in the back of their mind every day after that that like, oh shit, I am holding shit back. And then if ever you
Yeah,
lose a game, they're gonna like look in their fucking soul, and everybody's gonna know.
yeah, 100%. So I always let it up to the person, you know. And there's always people that are always gonna be in your ear and be like, yo, we should do this, we should do that. And they'll always be like, do this, do that, but they always relied on me to like make that like final decision, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. That's like my motto for a lot of things. Like it is what it is.
And I mean, I kind of like it in the context that you're using it because it's mad different than. Because I actually had a conversation about it is what it is today, and a lot of people use it mad passively, right? Like, yo, life is trash, so I must play my part. It is what it is.
It's what it is. Yeah, yeah.
And that's not the way I hear you using it, where it's more like I made a tough decision and you may not like it,
Yeah,
and your
yeah, but
feelings to which it is what it is. And
it is
that's
what it
like
is. Yeah,
it's a strong
exactly.
twist. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's also important, right? Like, I've been thinking a lot about ideas of, like, friends, right? And you listen to, like,
Mhm.
really successful people, and they say shit like, yo, it's mad important to watch who you keep in your circle and get rid of bad fruits and shit. People who are not fruitful, like, why are they around? And then you think about it from the perspective of a sports team, and it's kind of empirical. We either do better or we do worse.
Yeah,
But the
or do worse. In
principle
fact,
kind of applies to everything in life. If your team is proper, the people around you motivated and in the same direction, you will, as a unit, kind of succeed with
move
greater.
together. Yeah.
So it's wild cool, because especially if you have to get rid of people on your team, there might be better or worse ways to go about that shit.
Yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%, man. That's fact.
Man, so you run in that for a minute. You basically like pushing the you basically been doing this for 12 straight years, like the same team, the same everything.
More or less. I mean, like, yo, like our core, like right now, it's only down to like me and Travis. Like we're the last two, like remaining. Like some guys just, they just stopped playing. Other family things. Married, kid. So like me and Travis are like the last two from like the main core that are like remaining.
But like it's still
That's like
like the hashtag no regard team.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I mean, like we took a few seasons off. Like the last season we played was last year, like right before like the pandemic started, and that's when like they canceled it. So we took off like 2 seasons, but we'll be coming back in winter. We'll be bringing back the team in winter. We're gonna do a whole. This is kind of like breaking news. Whoever's listening, I don't even know. I don't know if JS is listening. Like I didn't really tell him, but like yeah, like me and Travis been talking. And, like we're gonna bring back the team like for winter, and like we're gonna run it back. Run it back. It's gonna be a whole new thing. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
That's fire. So back to the music though. So you're running the
Yes,
music
sir.
thing and you're doing the whole no regard thing, and then I guess things kind of shift around after a couple of years, and you're still doing obviously the football thing, but are you still
Yeah,
pushing the music thing at the same time throughout the whole thing?
yeah, for sure, man. Like for the people that know, like me and JF, like we've been working together like effortlessly, like me and him, we have a lot of music. Like he dropped a few solo tapes on his own. I have yet to drop my own solo tape, which I am still working on. You know what I mean? It's just that I don't want to call myself a perfectionist, but like I kind of know what I want from it. So like it's just not ready yet. But like me and JS, we have a lot of music, and we've dropped Dualitas, we've dropped Impromptu Session 1 and 2, and like there's just a lot of music that's out, or like on both of our computers. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of music that we're pushing, that me and him got to push together until like I kind of like focus on my solo thing. Like I even have like a unreleased tape with Demi. Like it's there, it's done. Like there's just a lot of music. So the music never the hard part. Like going to the studio is never the hard part. It's just really like the marketing and like the whole like delivery of it. That's like, that takes a little bit of time and how to properly do it. But like to me, like studio,
Honestly,
like that
I
shit's
don't
light,
even know
bro.
if that many people know how to properly do it these days.
Yeah, but that's another thing. I don't think there's a proper rollout. Like you just kind of like I guess go with the flow and like just run it and see like what works and what not. Like at the end of the day, I think like the people decide like what's gonna be hot and what's not. I'm a big advocate for that. Even me, like as a music fan, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always an advocate for people putting out their music when they have when I hear people be like, I got all this shit. I'm like, bro, put out some of that shit. Just put it out.
Yeah,
People want to hear it.
and I think that's what it is too. Like it's just like just drop it. Like
Bro,
I'm
I
not
got
at the point where I could.
excited when Dog Season came out. Like, not because of the fucking thing. So I heard y'all's music, and at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about y'all's music because it takes a second for me and my like
Mhm.
snob ass sometimes. And then the more
Yeah,
I listened to it, and I just vibed, and I really like got into it. So like, yo, that fourth quarter run it back, that shit, that shit slaps fucking hard. That one right there, my
yeah,
gosh, dude. Like,
it's
so like
that,
I hear it
it's
and I'm
that.
like, I don't know what y'all's waiting for, but like, I'll bump it. Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no, yo, never say. I think that's our problem that we have like so much stuff. Is just that we should just drop it. But like that's a conversation for like me and Jess and how we're gonna
yeah, of
like
course.
go about it. But you know what I mean? Like it's like just why not, bro? Like we're not at that point where we should be holding back with stuff. Like we have so much things just like here. But another thing that is like a lot of visuals. Like we need to do a little bit more visuals. I think that's something that we're gonna work on like this end of quarter of the year going into like 2022. My bad. Yo, still hungover from last night. Yeah. So like, yeah, you know what I mean. Like it's like more visuals, like gotta people gotta see us more. Like the music is cool, put it on like the streaming platforms is cool and all that, but like you gotta like see us more visually. So like that's something that we're gonna do. That we're gonna like put a step on. So
What about like outside of fucking the let's say the music video visuals? Like for me, the best way I found to put my face on shit is this. This has been an excellent way to put my
okay,
face out to the world, right? And then
yeah,
it's had a little trickle effect back to my music. Not a crazy one, but every few days actually the follower on Spotify goes up by one, and I'm
right.
like, oh, say word, it works kind of
Yeah,
slowly.
for sure.
So like,
People are gonna interact that way.
what kind of stuff like I'm not saying go interview people. What kind of social media stuffs or other kinds of things would you be open to trying?
I mean, yo, like at this point, it's like that's another thing. Like we're not kind of like putting ourselves out there. Like I guess like people on our social media know us. Like like I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. I'll do the IG lives here and there, but like this is something that I don't do often. Like this interview podcast, and like I don't do often. That I gotta do more. Like I should reach out to like more people that are um in that area of music, like whether it's podcasting on that interviewing, and like I should just get out more, show my face more, interview more, and let people know who's like put a face behind the name. You know what I mean? Like people just they'll be, oh yeah, KD2 Times, but like I gotta put actual face
I
behind it.
mean,
So
like just
this is something more that I gotta do behind
no,
it.
but like for real though, like just watching your stories, it looks like your life is pretty litty, all things considered.
I try, and that's another thing. Like like it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's taxing. It's a little taxing. I won't lie. It's a little taxing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But like, there's still like a image or like that. I still gotta uphold of who I am, even though like that's what I do. Like I go out, I do my thing. Like I try my best to be as social as possible. Like I'm very quiet in certain respects, but like you get me out in like a party or a club like that, like I'm out there, like always turn up. So like I'm giving you a first direct cut of like my life through like IG. You know what I mean? So you take it how it is.
I mean, it looks like it's entertaining. I was like, man,
I try, bro. I try. I try.
but like, would you ever get to a point where you're like, I don't know, creating a little web series for yourself, like a little show, like you like vlog, like if you live a life that's interesting, vlogging is the move.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, personally myself, like, um, I would probably need a videography with me, like low key, like 24/7, or at least like when I go out. You know what I mean? That'll be something. So like I kind of have to find like that kind of person. I mean, has the idea like crossed my mind? Like, yeah, for sure. How would I go about it? But I just want to go about it like how other people go about their vlogging. Like I kind of want to do something like kind of different, like out of the box type of shit. You know what I mean? So I don't want to do what everyone else is kind of doing. So if I were to do that, like I have to like take my time and like like process it and like dissect it and like see like what's like the good like a good market for myself. I want to just do some like a basic vlog. It'll have to be something where like that people haven't seen yet.
Mm.
You know, capture their attention. You know.
I could see you and JS talking shit about football and shit, wrestling, whatever, just in like a podcast being like some entertaining ass like content.
For sure, man. Yo, me and him, we have like crazy conversations, man. Like whether it's like I'm at his house, we're at work, or like we just shooting the shit, bro. It's just our conversations like they expand wild, very wild, and like yo, we're two like very creative people. He's very creative, man. He's a very creative person. So like the stuff that like we like kind of come up with, whether it's music, video ideas, whatever it may be, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of crazy how like our energies match like when we link up and stuff.
Alright, so let's like go outside the realms of the music and the football. What are some of the other greater ambitions that KD2Times wants to pull off in his life? Because you're like, you got a lot of life left, and like I imagine you're one of those dudes that can cook up a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question, man. Like ambition. Yo, like a lot of people been telling me I gotta like I don't want to toot my own horn, but like I find like I'm kind of good with this music thing, you know, like playlist wise, you know, like people been hitting me up is like, yo, could you make me a playlist? I need a playlist for this and that, and I'll throw them a playlist for like 20 songs and give it to them. And like some people just like, yo, man, you should really like pick up DJing, and I'm like, fuck, man, if I was gonna do that, I should have done that like earlier, you know, like I don't know if I want to kind of do that now, you know, but like that's like something that like
It's a good
I
time.
wouldn't mind. Yeah, I wouldn't mind, you know, but like I kind of need that like boost. But like ambition wise is like yeah, I wouldn't mind like yo if I could teach myself to just yo get on the turntables and like figure shit out. You know, it would be cool. I wouldn't mind having my own like recording studio. That's kind of cool. So I wouldn't call it like big ambitions, or I guess it's like personal goals or like just personal like things for myself. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are probably like the two that I'm kind of aiming for. The DJing is gonna be like kind of like, you know, I've been like hopscotching around it, but like I should get to it
Yo,
sooner
but
than later.
even what you just described, my guy, I bet you could make money making playlists for people. Like if you actually just marketed that as a
Yeah,
service without DJing, because as you said it to me, I'm like, hold up. Like my work one time hit me up to make a playlist for like the office party, and it took me like a long time to make a playlist that was long enough for an office party. And if I really think about that, the company, if you find a price point that's less than a DJ, but good enough,
good
people would
enough.
like
Yeah,
would actually pay
for sure,
like for that curation.
100%. And like, and I see it too. Like a lot of people don't, you know, like if you go to like a party and like there's no DJ, they don't want to be at their phone taking care of the music the whole time. They'll
No,
rather
no
run
one
a
wants that.
playlist that's like about like, you know, they'll rather run a playlist that's like 2 hours long and just let it ride out. You know, and like I find like my music category is deep. Like I'm very open to like a lot of things, like 70s, 80s, jazz, blues, you name it. Like I'm all for it. Like it's all there on my thing. So,
So how
you
do you
know, it's
make a
something that
playlist then? Tell us a bit about that process. Like I don't know that many people that are like blatantly like I'm a dope ass curator. How do you like how does that work?
it really depends on the person and like what they ask for, bro. I mean, for the most part, like so far, it's just be like hip hop stuff. But like my boy just hit me up. He's like, "Yo, I need like I need like money motivation music." And he's just like, "Yo, send me like a few albums that does money motivation." So I sent them like Nipsey Hussle, like Mailbox Money. I sent them some Money Man albums. You know, it's just like, you know, it was pretty much easy. It wasn't a playlist, but like, bam, I could just tell you that. He's like, "Oh, yo, respect." So like, I mean,
Bro, if you went on
I just vibe
TikTok
out.
and like fucking did exactly what you just described to me, it would take you no time at all, require no additional people. And honestly, I found out there's a market of sponsored posts where motherfuckers will pay you to fake review their shit.
Yo, I know I'm not even on TikTok, bro. That's one thing I'm not on, bro. I haven't got into it. Like people send me TikToks and like I watch them, but like I haven't got into the app itself. Like I don't know. I think I'm just like closing my mind to it. I should get
Nah,
into
I
it, though. I
mean, I
really should.
wouldn't have said anything except for what you just, because I ended up interviewing a TikTok music coach. It just happened. That's
What's
what he does.
that?
Well, it's like a guru guy, like you know the ones on YouTube that tell you how to make money, except
Okay, yeah.
specialized in how to be a TikToker in music. And I joined his group and shit. But one of the things he does is these little music reviews. Because I'm a music reviewer back in the day. I don't really like to do it as much now, but like, so I'm sitting there back in the day, putting 8 hours into these motherfucking reviews and shit, right? This
Mm.
motherfucker creates 15-second reviews, and because of the clout is where it is, people pay for that. And I'm sitting there going, oh, that's a, that's a different side of TikTok that makes me look at it. I mean, it's not like 100% like if you got to do work to get there. It's not like you got to do stupid corny TikTok shit. But when I started realizing there was like ways to make short form shit like in my head, I started thinking about TikTok a little different. Like even football reactions. Like you guys watch your football games.
Mm.
Just as like a quick
Yeah.
idea, like you guys run a TikTok where in 15 seconds during your game you talk about the best play after every game. You know,
Okay.
15-second
I
video,
see what
point and
you
click
mean.
shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. That's a very good idea, man. I have to really. I'm pretty sure after this, I'm gonna end up downloading TikTok because what's another thing is like I don't like when people send me the TikToks and like I gotta open it through the browser. I want to just open it through the app.
Yeah, it's
So like
better.
I'm gonna have to really like at least just maybe not sign up, but like let me just download the
Honestly,
app and
though,
have to look at it from there, bro.
it's I don't know, man. TikTok, I'm gonna warn you straight up. It's gonna know exactly what kind of girl you like way faster than you think it should. Way
But
faster.
you
My boy hit. Okay, I told my boy
know,
this. He downloaded TikTok. He hit me back 4 hours later to confirm that. 4 hours. TikTok knew exactly what kind of girl he
that's
liked.
wild, bro. That's wild. But you know what the crazy thing is like I was heavy on what was the app? And it's Vine. Vine. I was
Say
heavy on
word.
Vine,
Like
man.
you created?
That was my thing. Yeah, but not creative, but like Vine was like, I wish I could still have my Vine account because there was some like gold on that thing, man. Like very much like good gold. Like the 6 second type of thing was perfect. Didn't need
Why?
more than that. Like that was enough. I don't know. It was just like that era that Vine was around. Like I was able to like like 15, like when you go on like Instagram story, like at 15 seconds, like 6 seconds is like if you could capture something within 6 seconds and like make it like the person's attention span doesn't like die out. Like 6 seconds is crazy, and like Vine was like my thing. I really wish I could get my Vine account back. I really wish I could bring it back somehow, some way. And that's what I kind of see like what TikTok is, but just like a in like a higher version of it. Is that even is there? Just like a more like pumped up version. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And then mix it musically where you got
It's that
like
exactly, yeah.
I don't even know, man. I'm sitting there and sometimes I'm like on the because sometimes it really gets you and literally 10 minutes disappears. But it just has these really good songs and then people do the strangest coordinations to the strangest songs. And I don't actually like it because it finds out what you like, and so it finds ways to like if you're into parodies of dances, it's gonna show you people making fun of the dances. If you're into like whatever, it's gonna figure it out, and then you realize, yo, TikTok is huge. It's got everything. It's like Instagram in a sense. It's just like a fuck ton of subcultures. At one point, I stumbled onto BDSM TikTok. I saw a man's in a suit because they had this duet.
Wilden, you're Wilden, boy. You're Wilden, dog.
It, but this was a dude in his suit, right? And they do the duet shit where it has the two screens. And he's sitting there with like a leash and shit. And he's like, yo, whatever, you're going to come home and you're going to do this. And he does like the pause like it's a rapper thing. And then girls be duetting on that shit. A homegirl I know did that. That's how I found out. And I like got in the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, TikTok be wild. Like, people be like cosplaying shit. They doing all kinds of narrative. Yo, I found out there's like people who create stories through TikTok accounts. Like just like they fucking film locations and you gotta follow the account, yeah, to see what happens next. And it's like honestly I got way more into it. Once I got past like the people dancing and the kid shit, it's like, yo, there's like some wildly
Mhm.
imaginative shit in TikTok that makes me kinda cool with the platform.
Yo, I can't lie. There's some real good actors and like some Grammy, like there's some Grammys that could be awarded to TikTok. Cause I see some of the, like the little like mini stories or like mini series that, you know, especially like on Twitter or like I'm on Reddit as well. So like I'll see some of those stuff and I'm like, yo man, you guys have like very good storytelling. Like, you know, don't throw this away because it's kind of like it's very good, you know what
Nah,
I
these people
mean?
have
So
Patreons and shit. They're all making bank. I'm sure of
yeah,
that.
yeah, for
Or
sure.
they're on
You
their
know what
way
I
to
mean?
it.
So hopefully I would hope so, man. Can't throw that talent away, dog.
Nah, thank you. What's wild about TikTok is I'm pretty sure Canadians can't make the TikTok bank quite the same as Americans. Like, there's like a TikTok kind of bank that's going on in America. Yo, same thing with Instagram. Instagram has some fucking shit. Because a homeboy in the States sent me something like, bro, did you see this? And I checked my Instagram account. And I'm like, it's not there, my guy.
Yeah.
Fucking America.
Yeah, yo, yo, you know, that's like the downside of being in Canada. We have our good, but it also comes with our bad. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. You see there again, it is what it is.
Nah, in that case, I feel that. Like, there's no point in threatening it, but it's just wildly interesting. But still, the monetization comes. You guys sell merch, you
Yeah,
know? Sell some more No
yeah,
Regard shirts. Be like,
exactly.
Jess, I'm selling you
Yeah,
shirts. Give me a fucking cut.
nah, man, but yeah, man. All in all, it's just like you know, we go about it, and like I'm cool with the. That's a good idea though that you gave me for the playlist thing. I'm gonna have to look a little deeper than that because that is a pretty much good idea. I should start monetizing that in some way for sure. I don't know how, but like yeah, it's coming.
Nah,
It's coming
I
like
could
that.
talk to you about that after. I could give you some ideas.
Yeah, we could do that. But yo, you're right down the street, bro. I'll just pull up on you, Doug. I'll just pull up on you.
Yeah,
Smoke
that's
one. We
fair,
talk
man.
about that.
Yeah, it's
You already
wild
know.
still. Yeah, it's cool. I like that. I like the fact that, because that's something that's also fresh. Is like there's so much interesting people that like live in this part of the city. And I feel like this part of the city gets slept on a little bit for how much cool people's here because we're all forced to go to other places to be cool.
Mm, that's a good point. That's a very good point. That's a very good point how you put that. You have to go somewhere else to be cool. Yeah, you're right.
Like, I don't know.
You're right.
Like, you're a lot more hip than I am. Like what in NDG makes you go like, or Côte Saint Luc or any of that? Where are you like? Where am I going to go turn up or whatever?
I gotta it's downtown, but like you know, there's a lot of characters here within the area where it's ND like you know NDG, Montreal West, Côte Saint Luc. You know, there's some pretty dope people around here that like you wouldn't expect, but you know,
It's
he's
not
gotta find it.
the.
And like we're like at the end, you know what I mean? Like we're at the end, like we're not next to the highway. We're like 10, 15 minutes from the highway and all that shit. Like we're in the like in the back end, like the corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You live pretty far.
Yeah. Exactly.
No,
You
but
know
even
where I'm
like where
at.
I'm at,
So
man.
no,
I mean, where I'm at, like if you look at it on the map, it's a huge point you're making because it is kind of like there's no convenient reason to randomly come here.
100%. Unless like you live there or you have like some sort of business to do there, you have no reason to be there. Zero reason.
You know,
Zero.
I'm straight up trying to tell the politicians that they could like influence having better reasons to come here because like nah, I mean like let's say they was throwing like not so much like the 4 or 5 groups that be doing it, and shout out to our NDG and all the people that actually do shit, but imagine like this city was throwing more block parties or like, you know, letting people like you come and run some shit up in here, you know, facilitating, I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah.
It's like you could turn it into like, yo, I gotta go to a Katie and I assume JS fucking situation, and like it's litty and it's here.
Yeah. Um, how could I answer that? Like, I feel like a lot of people like they're very like closed. Like they'll just like keep their kind of like I guess like circle of friends or like circle of entourage, whatever it is. You know, they wouldn't want to like kind of reach out to someone else to do something, and that's what I find is like a big problem in Montreal. Like you know, like people don't like. I'm like I've heard other people speak about it. You know, it's just like the whole I guess you could call it like a partnership.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Or like collab. Like you don't see that too much in Montreal. Everyone's just like, I'll just fend for myself. I'll just make it on my own. I'll just do this with the group of people that I'm with. You know, I won't reach out to like X, Y, and Z. I'll just do it on my own. And like, if it works, it works. If not, then you know, fuck it.
I want to just big up the young ones because they are not replicating that I just want to big up. I've seen
No,
a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
young
that's
ones
true.
collaborate together. I've seen a lot of young ones that I discover featured and followed by a lot of other young ones that I'm discovering, and I'm like, oh, they all know who
Mm,
each other is. That's wildly
yeah,
interesting. But I
that's
encountered that
cool.
a whole bunch. But I also feel like our whole lives we were put into fishbowl environments that like kind of got us to, and then all of a sudden we're like put into the world with no fishbowl environment no more, and it's kind of
Yeah,
hard. Like so that's why I'm like a facilitation. Like that's why I'm going to the park on Sundays now at the amp and shit, which y'all can come through
I
if you
see
want to
that. I
fucking
see
do it.
that. Shout out to you.
I heard
Yeah. Shout
football
out
fucking shit Sunday. Good luck, and I was like, fair enough, Jess. I understand that it's not a good day for the
to
football world, but then it's like, yo, but that's the kind of you know what I'm saying. Like you can come, whoever wants, and it's not like just to plug it, but it's like I'm trying to like show like what I mean by facilitation of this. You create the environment, and make it dope, and people that maybe don't live here want to come here for once.
No, for sure, man. And yo, I shout out to you for that. I saw you guys did that thing. Was it last week?
Yeah, that's
It was at Oxford Park, but it was like a big thing because I saw my boy Wasi was out there. Yo, did that, and yo, man, it's a dope thing that you're doing, and I really hope like more people reach out to you. I mean, yo, it's gonna start be getting cold soon, so like,
yeah, it's
you
that
know,
yeah we mid October probably latest, and then
mid
it's like it is
October,
what it is.
yeah, you know what I
I
mean.
mean, like yo, it's
But then,
all
yo,
weather
from
permitting. But yo, when I look at it, it's like then you get to the next part of it. All right, so say the winter comes, somebody like y'all know how to actually throw parties that are lit. You know,
yeah,
maybe
but like,
there's
because of the COVID thing, well, I don't know how it's gonna work, but like we've talked about that, like we gotta like host like another, like we have to get back in that. So like we're kind of looking at like venues. Like Cabaret was like our like bread and butter, man. I wish that was still around, or like the same ownership. I mean, it's still around under a different name, but like we
yeah.
need to find like another
Yo,
like Cabaret on
apparently
the world.
they're opening up a venue in DG,
We're at
like across from Girard. One of the churches or something's abandoned or whatever, and one of them buildings they're gonna flip into a venue.
okay.
Apparently, I don't know when, 'cause it's life and shit. But
Yeah.
so it got me thinking, like, what about like the loft side of it all, the private party version where it's more low key.
Yeah, that's what like we're kind of more
Oh,
into,
it's
like,
the old
you know,
theater with the Egyptian figures on it.
whole theater with the. Oh yeah, for real?
Yeah, that was what the mayor
Okay,
was saying. She was like, "Yeah, we're gonna
okay,
flip that into a venue. It's like greenlit, and it's gonna come." So like, I'm like,
okay. So that's probably not coming to like next year though.
yeah, probably, I don't know. Bro, we
Next
don't
year,
even
or
know who's in
yeah,
power.
I don't even know, right? Yeah. I'm just talking on my ass, but like, yeah, yeah, I'm all for like the private parties, word of mouth type of thing. Like that's what I'm more like. Clubs are cool and all that, but like I find people vibe out their best at like, you know, come to a little private bar, where you pay your little 5-10 bucks to get in, whether it's a BYOB, whatever it is. You're gonna see the people at their best at those type of things in comparison to like a club, where it's like restrictions on X, Y, and Z. Like, just you come vibe out, just don't break down the place, turn up as much as you want. That's what we all here for. I turn up. Yo, if you follow me on IG, you see me turn up, shirt off. So like, we out there. But like, yeah,
I
like
like how the
we're
shirt
more
off
like,
is just like a flex for y'all. Like fuck that. If you're wearing a shirt, it's a bad party.
yeah. That, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was at my boy's Airbnb last night, and like it was getting hot in there, and I just said, "Yo, man, this shirt's gonna come off," and like I don't care. I can't do that in a club. Like the bouncer can tell me to put it on or kick me out.
So you're able to just
But
like rent an Airbnb, throw parties in. It's legit. And I'm asking because like I just never did it because I'm like I read rules
yeah,
and I'm like, well, I'm not supposed to throw a party. I think.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're a little bit on the expensive side to get that done, but like, yo, like my party, there's easily like,
Like, are there just places that let you rent it for a party?
yeah, for more or less, like, yeah, or like you end up talking to the guy that's doing it, and you'll be like, how many people? And like, you'll be like, yeah, only like, 10, 15, but there end up being like 50, 55 people. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, clean up in the morning and nothing's broken. You don't mind, they get their money, you get your fun. Everyone's happy, bro. So, but like,
Wow.
I don't want to do the Airbnb. Like, if we could get a venue. So like, I don't know if any venues are gonna end up watching this pod, but like, holla at me.
Nah, but even
Like we
then, if
kind of
I
want to
find
we
venues
want to get that popping. Yeah, yo, we want to kind of get that popping going into the new year, man, for sure.
or more
We want
like
to get back to hosting the
spaces.
parties.
There's got to be
Yeah, it's
like
more like spaces.
spaces that are available, because then it's just gear, and gear is dealable. That's just the logistic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're like, we don't need no bar and all that. Like, just give us a space and we'll make it happen. 100%.
That's fantastic. I like that. That's the kind of ambitious shit I'm talking about. That's where it's like, but then what you're doing is you're bringing something more to the table than just like, yo, I make music, but I also throw parties, but I also lead a football team, but
Yeah,
I also do this, but I also, it's wild.
there's a lot of also to it, and even like with the spaces, it's gonna be good for like artists. Like we could do like a showcase, you know, let an hour or two for like some up and coming artists that come and showcase their shit, and after you turn it into the party for the rest of the night. So there's a lot of things that that could go in and out about it. So really not a bad idea, and it can only be like profitable and like they can only go higher from there. You know what I mean? So there's only an upside to it.
Yeah, and the more you do it, and if we can pull that off in DG, oh my gosh, that would be the dream. I mean, I know it's a big stretch because there's not like it's actually like not that many options available that I've looked at. I haven't looked that deep, but I wonder about that. I'm gonna look deeper. If y'all gonna do something, if I find something, oof, I'll look a little
Yo,
deeper.
you know where I'm at? Yeah, 100%, man. You could always chop that up, dog. Always open to that, man. Always, because that's something that like that's another thing. Like I find that we're really good at. Like I said, it's like the party hosting, man. And I think we could do that. Like we know how to party. Like people that if you just go out with us, like on the regular, it's like yo, these guys are like good people to be around.
So what
To
makes for
party
like
with.
a
So like
good party?
it's just good vibes, bro. Like, don't bring your negative vibe. Don't come with your evil eye. Like, leave that all at the door. Just come with you, with your +1 or your +3. You come with your bottle, or you come with whatever's gonna, get you lit for that night. We're not gonna restrict anything, open to all. But it's just like very positive vibes, man. Like that's all it is, man. And that's what I noticed like people were missing like during the COVID thing is just like a good like party atmosphere. And I seen that like at my birthday because like my birthday's in July and that's when like I found like the restrictions were kind of like easing up and stuff like that. So like and that's what people were like missing, bro. Just like having a good time. There's people were missing
Bro,
having a
like
good time from curfew and all that. Like it's just like a good time they were missing. So a good party is like, yo, bring yourself, bring your good vibes and like it's not much, man. Everything's just free of charge. The only thing you're really paying for is the bottle. That's the only thing that's gonna cost you money. But everything else is free of charge, man. You're bringing that. Just bringing good etiquette and all that, and we vibing, bro. No bad vibes around here.
that's incredible. So, when do you have anything like in coming up in the next little bit?
I have a single that's gonna be dropping. I just don't know when it's gonna drop. That's just everything's done, artwork, all that shit that's done. It's called Designer Talk. That's gonna be dropping. I have to figure out a date. It could drop at the end of the month. It could drop in October. So I would say like around there. Me and JS were kind of just planning out the next drop for our next tape. It's gonna just be a small EP. Like I said, we have a lot of music, so we just got to see how we're gonna cipher all that out, throw that out there. And after we're gonna be dropping Dua Lipa's too. I'm not gonna put a date on that, but those are like the three projects that like in my mind that are regional. So like my single, our EP, then Dua Lipa's too. So I ain't gonna put no dates on that besides the single. The single, you should expect the single by the end of the month, beginning of October. But I'll give you that. And the EP will be following like just around that corner. But for Dua Lipa's too, I ain't gonna say nothing on that, but it's there. It's there.
That's dope. So if like if you had all the budget in the world, what would you do with a music video?
Wow. Yo, I mean him, we talk about that because like I said, we're very creative guys. So it's like if we had the money for like if I look at for like music videos, it's like Rick Ross. Like he makes like mini movies. You see, like his is like 8 minutes long. It's not like a really like it's very like a cinematic like beginning to end. It's not just like your basic music video. So like if we had the thing like private dance, like I always said, like that's probably like one of my favorite songs that we've done to date. Like I love Private Dance. Like Private Dance, probably like yeah, top three songs that we've probably done. And feedback from other people. I'm seeing it like on the streaming numbers too. Like it's a song that's like kind of like popular out there. So like but like we're like when we're making music videos, like not a music video, like we want to make it a movie. That's what the goal always is. Like it's gotta be like very captivating. You know what I mean? So it's like really like an 8 minute like mini movie that we're gonna give you. Because like I said, very creative guys, and there's like a lot of like thought process that goes on in like the stuff that we want to put in our videos. So yeah.
Yo, would you just like act in movies?
So you see, I never like done that, and like I don't know how I would be personally as an actor. So it's something like I would like. I guess I'd have to try out. I'd
Uh,
have to try it out. I don't know. I don't know how I would act. Like I don't know if I'm a good actor. So 100% I would try it out. But like, yeah, why not? Why not? I'll give it a shot. Ain't gonna hurt.
Love it. Um, that's dope, man. I appreciate you coming through, KD.
You already know, dog. Anytime, dog, we gonna run it up. And like I said, you're only down the street from me, so we'll definitely chop it up about what we spoke about earlier.
Yeah,
But
man.
I always appreciate it, dog. I like what you're doing for DG. I like what you're doing with you're bringing out all the little small unknown guys and things like that, and you're giving them a voice as well. So I respect that, and just you'll keep doing your thing, dog. It's much appreciated. It's one love, bro.
Yo, it's mad important though, cause like the one thing that always held me back was that I didn't know anything about people around me and what existed. And yo, you can't be humble until you see the greatness that's out
Mm,
there. Then it's easy to be humble because you just look around and there's just fucking wildly interesting people everywhere you look. Like seriously, I watched you on the big screen for real. Like I'm in the movie theater and you're up there playing football doing this shit. Now like that's a wildly interesting experience.
yeah, it's kind of crazy, to see yourself on the big screen. Like when I went by JS to like film it, it's like one thing, but like when you go in like the movie theater at Scotiabank and there's other people there kind of watching, it's like, oh wow, yeah, it's kind of dope. It's kind of dope. A different perspective, but dope nonetheless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that must have been crazy actually. Like did your
Yeah,
mom
for
come and
sure.
stuff?
No, no, no. I had no family members. I couldn't make it, but they're gonna end up seeing the clips of it for sure. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna be able to get it to show it to them on TV. But it's cool. Like they know about like my football thing, but they don't know like as deep as how JS like portrayed it. You know what I mean? So like it'll be cool for them to see like I'm not just wasting my time doing this football thing. You know what I mean? Even though it's not bringing no dividends, but there's like something that's coming out of it for sure.
I mean, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, how many people end up being a pivotal point of a documentary at any like point in their life? Who? Like, how many people actually had that happen to them?
Yeah, I know he's dope, and he made it happen. So I'm just much appreciative for like the opportunity and all that, and how everything, fell in place.
To be fair, you still had to be you, doing all the you things, being interesting, kind of captivating people, and being Mr. Captain Man, making the hard choices, leading the team to victory.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
arguably, there's no story without you.
You want to put it in that way, yeah, for sure. I always told him that it was never my story. It was our story, and even though I have to hold that like that role as the leader, captain. It is what it is. I'll take it, but like it was our story at the
No, I
end,
mean,
never my story.
I hear you. I'm just saying you're still like there's
Yeah,
no
yeah,
story without you. So that's
yeah.
the
Without me, I get it.
that's
So
like the
you
part that
know,
makes it like kind of fucking fire. All things considered.
yeah, yeah. Nah, for sure, dog, for sure.
No, but still, it was great to have you, man. I appreciate you coming through. I look forward to all your new stuff. All your links and stuff is gonna be down below, so make sure to follow, show the love, do the
No
things.
doubt. You already know.
Yeah, I appreciate
You
everybody
already
out there
know.
watching this still, the live folk, the people watching this in the future. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all that good shit. On that note, do you have any last words for the people out there?
Yo, man, just we're gonna get through this crazy times that we're going through. Be on the lookout for new music. I'm gonna be dropping, like I said, within the next couple of months, end of the year. And yo, we're gonna keep pushing, man. And that's it, yo. Just keep on the lookout for KD2Times. Keep on the lookout for JS. Keep on the lookout for NOREGARD. Yo, we're gonna just everything's gonna keep moving and pushing. So I'll end it on that note.
Yeah, appreciate you again, and live long and prosper, everybody.
No, dog. Hold it down, dog. Appreciate you having me, dog.